Welcome. We are visiting the values of the Constitution of India. We have been through part 1. Today, we will be visiting the values of part 2. It is about citizens. We, the people of India, have given a constitution to ourselves. However, the fundamental rights and fundamental duties have been vested upon the citizens of India. So that category, which is people of India but are not the citizens of India, is one category. Now, what is that category? How that category is to behave under the Constitution, how that category is responsible for anything or not, etc., or the features. As we are talking of citizens of India, so starting from people of India, we are at the group of citizens of India. Now let us see who has been our first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was the chairman of the Constituent Assembly. Who is our first law minister? Is Dr. Ambedkar. He was the in charge of the drafting of the Constitution in Constituent Assembly. Then who became the first Chief Justice of India? Who was the Chief Justice of the Federal Court at that time? Who became the first Speaker? Who became the first Prime Minister? Now, let us concentrate upon these 5 personalities: President, Chief Justice, Speaker, Prime Minister, and Law Minister. They were part of drafting of this Constitution. They were well appreciating what these values are, what are the ideals, how these ideals are to be made a reality, and they, as per their wisdom, as per their responsibility, as per their consciousness, and as per their vision, had occupied the basic constitutional apparatus posts, and Constitution started becoming a reality through these very persons who were the originators of the ideas, who had successfully drafted it, who drafted it, adopted it, and had given to ourselves as people of India. So we, the people of India, had chosen the best 5 amongst us to be the first president, first chief justice, first speaker, first prime minister, and first law minister. Now, we can't say there was any delusion in sincerity, delusion in experience, delusion in any form of sincerity or otherwise. And Constitution started functioning. And the functional index of values of the index, as had been at its initiation point on the first day, 26th of January 1950. So 26th of January 1950 is one fateful date for us. So life of the Constitution begins on 26th of January. Constitution was born. Take Constitution as a personality. Take it Constitution as a child. This child was born on 26th of January 1950, and the child was within the parental care of these five personalities as index values. So, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, let us be through his life. Let us see how, from the first day when he occupied the chair of the President of India till his death, what happened to him, how he was treated by us, how much he had given to us, how much he was deprived to give it to us. Then the Chief Justice, he served, occupied this chair for how many days after 26th of January, and what has been his retired life, and what he did during his retired life, how much experience he had, how much wisdom has been with him, and on the date of his retirement till his last birth, how much he could have contributed and how much we have permitted him to contribute, how much we could have utilized, how much we have not utilized is also the aspect to be considered, to be evaluated, to be appreciated. And then only we will know that the ideals, as are the values of the constitutional text, and ideals as these shape themselves within the reality of its functional frame. Then Speaker, Prime Minister, and the Law Minister. So we as students of law, we as lawyers, we as law analysts or scholars or jurists shall visit these five personalities and then try to appreciate and try to index as to how the ideals of the text and the way these shape and why they shape as these shape are the features which we shall appreciate. Now, let us see how the people of India had charted the chapter of citizenship, Constitution of India, Part-2, Citizenship. These are sections 5 to 11. Let us be through these articles one by one and see how these have been drafted, how the citizenship has been bestowed, how and who are privileged to be bestowed the citizenship, and then how the right being a citizen as well is subject matter of regulation by the law of the parliament. Now, in this frame, let us pose to ourselves that child which is born today and is thrown in the bushes by the mother for whatsoever reasons. Now, let us concentrate as to what are the rights of that child who has been given a birth but has been thrown in the bushes. Now, the child thrown in the bushes is a citizen of India. This citizen of India is being thrown in the bushes and has been left to the nature. Nature is playing its role. Our man-made institutions are also playing their role. We have to consider, we have to appreciate, we have to imbibe as to how limited is the scope of the man-made institutions vis-a-vis the nature. So nature's law on the one hand, and man-made institutional apparatus on the other hand. Let us see that the child who is thrown in the bushes comes to the notice of some individuals. Now, those individuals or the individuals or the citizens or otherwise the people of India, those people, those citizens, how they behave, what is the constitutional expectation from them. Let us take it that one or more of them pick up that child and they themselves are either because of lack of knowledge, because of lack of the medical or other sciences knowledge, or because of the resources, are not in a position to help that child except to bring it in a hospital or before a district authority or before a police. Now, what are the constitutional responsibilities and expectations from those institutions where this child is brought? Now, see, still date, we are not in a position to maintain a citizens register. We don't know, no authority knows, no law indicates. Everything is in a fluid state. Everybody is in darkness as to what precisely are the rights of that child. There is a full basket of fundamental rights. There is a very big room of large number of authorities. There are volumes and volumes of laws. There are bundles and bundles of the judgments. There are such millions population of India. But that child, in that unfortunate situation, looks towards everybody, looks towards the Constitution, looks towards the ideals of the Constitution, as that at least he shall be given that much opportunity that he can stand upon his own legs. But what the Constitution says, it is only at the age of 21 you will have a right to vote. So his voice, his ideas are to be heard politically, polity-wise, only at the age of 21. That means this Constitution, as it is silent as to how the resources of the country, the wisdom of the country, the experience of the citizens is to be availed to sustain the life of individual from day 1 to 21st year of age, the day when he will have a right to vote and choose his own government. So these 21 years, as these are, is a phase of life, is a span of life which deserves to be visited again from the point of view of the Constitution as well as from the point of view of the law. In the preamble, we have adopted and given to ourselves the Constitution, ensuring political, economic, and social justice. But we have not talked of sustenance, the life, or the period from day 1 to the 21st year of age is to be covered, is to be sustained. Therefore, the chapter of citizenship deserves to be visited again, and this chapter deserves to be, this part deserves to be amended suitably to put it that the day 1 to 21 years, the day when he will be entitled to vote, to choose, to exercise his discretion for the polity, is to be sustained, is to be maintained, is to be regulated by the common resources pool of the country. Simultaneously, from 21 onwards, we have to ensure that if we divide the society economically in, say, 10 layers, 10%, then 20, 30, so and so, the lowest 10% economically poor people, those who have been left out, those who have been neglected, those who have been segregated, and entire economics is being eaten up by somebody else, then how to ensure economic justice for that lowest 10% of the population? Like that, the last 10 years of life, the old age, when one by nature's principles has been bracketed in a position that he cannot even physically sustain himself, then how this constitution, these resources of the country, which say as an ideal of a political, social, and economic justice, then how socially and how economically that 10% old population is to be regulated, to be maintained, to be sustained, to be helped by the common resources pool of the country. We have made presidents and governors as the first citizens. Those first citizens at present are being given such placements which are merely decorative. Why not these institutions functionally and responsibility wise have to be vested with these powers, these responsibilities for sustaining these three groups? Number one, the children till they have a right to vote, 10% economically lowest rejected group of the people, and 10% of the population as the old people. Who are responsible under the constitution? No, none. They have been treated like all others. But how a child can be equated with the adults? How economically rejected individual can be treated parallel with others? How the old person who is not capable even physically to sustain himself can be treated like others? So we have to segregate. So this chapter of citizenship is to be classified, is to be reorganized, is to be revisited, and responsibilities with respect to them deserve to be vested differently. But when I say differently, that means not in the hands of those who get elected. Election in itself is a process, but which is very bad process when the equality on the nature's principles are to be appreciated. Therefore, non-elected institutional apparatus is to be invented within the existing constitutional apparatus, and that apparatus is to be vested with such neutral state responsibilities under the Constitution of India. So it is in this context that we shall again come back to the first citizens, first batch of first citizens. President of India, Chief Justice of India, Speaker of Lok Sabha, Prime Minister, Law Minister are first citizens. But amongst them, Dr. Rajendra Prasad to Dr. Ambedkar. These five individuals are the first among us, the first. Now, let us visit these personalities, their lives, their ideals, and sequentially, let us go on appreciating these first citizens at each year. So, at present, there are another set of first five citizens. Now, like that, if we create an institutional apparatus of responsibilities in which this or a bigger set of first citizens are entrusted the responsibilities, then the Supreme Court and High Courts also have to be transformed so that they shall have a one bench, permanent bench, which is regularly, continuously is only adjudicating this domain of responsibilities. It is only by having such like more drastic surgical approach to the existing arrangement of the text, ideals, and values of the Constitution that we can hope that yes, India is having the best Constitution. India is having the Constitution which it deserves. India is not India. India, that is Bharat. If we want to make India as Bharat, if we are to visit India as Bharat, then we have to imbibe the values of the Bharat, our ancient values, ancient wisdom. India, the land of Vedas, have to re-manifest itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.